opposition, we have Team Tyrion, Lannister, Sandor. In closing government, we have Clegane, Chong Football Club, and we have Parliamentary Fan Club. In closing opposition, Homo Erectus. Without further ado, I would like to the first speaker, Gabriel, to deliver a speech here.
Mr. Chair, we think a political party should work for the benefit of the people who are constituents of the party and never to anyone else. Because political parties serve as a vanguard of societal interests through policy that they materialize in stances in the face of external entities. Opening government believes the donation compromise all of those issues because it entails a certain influence which directly collides in an oppositional manner towards the interests of society. And secondly, we also think that it serves as an unfair power play of parties inside a particular region. Before proceeding further, though, several clarifications to make the debate clearer. Number one, we think that for the sources that we talked about in this debate, we're talking about entities outside of that particular country, for example, who wishes to provide donations in terms of especially money. But secondly, though, where do we think that donations or any materials or funding can come from for these political parties? Is first of all, for example, through their own internal funding mechanism, they can ask people who are part of that party to provide some kind of annual payment, for example, to the funding of party. We're also okay with government inside that country providing subsidies for political parties, and we're okay with having donations from every citizen that exists inside that particular country to that political party. We think that these foreign sources can still have audiences, can still sit on tables and talk to these political parties, Mr. Manager, but never to the extent of providing money, because money has an exclusive characteristic, which I will further exploit, and something that is harmful towards the establishment and the goal of opening government, that is societal interest. Before proceeding, though, you must understand where does the influence for political parties ideally come from, right? We think that this influence should only come from the ones that they are representing, and those are their own constituents. Three reasons for this. Number one, we think that people inside that country, or those or the constituents, or the domestic ones, are those which will feel the direct influence of everyone who are reigning in power. And we think that this is precisely the position of the position that the political party is looking for, right? To become people in power who can create policies which will affect these people. But secondly, though, we think that it should come from the inside because it serves as a more sustainable source of funding. Look, we think that constituents in this regard have a certain aspiration and have certain interests as to why they want to make sure that their political party they subscribe to strives. Because political parties have values, they have ways of life ingrained in them, something which society actually subscribes to at the end of the day. In some scenarios, for instance, people subscribe to a certain party because it has historical attachment, it has certain cultural value to it. We think that those with more attachment to that particular group will more likely to provide sources of funding that is more sustainable in contrast to other types of funding, especially from foreign ones, or more short-sighted in terms of pushing for their interests and can easily get out of that political party, for instance, once they don't think that political party serves their interests anymore, further on this later on. But third of all, we think that it's highly important to not give options for the political parties to seek legitimacy from other entities aside of their own constituents. Because in the face of a globalized world, national interests might collide in an oppositional manner with that of international interests. However, we think political parties who are aspiring to become government must retain such balance, and when push comes to shove, should prioritize the internal interests of the society. Considering all of that, how does foreign donations interfere with these specific interests, right? You must understand first how it will interfere from the reason why they will most likely be willing to donate. Because we think most likely they're willing to donate because they want to push for certain interests or certain policy that precisely is oppositional towards that of the national interest, Mr. Manager. More often than not, it's not enough for them to go through soft diplomacy or merely sitting on the table to ask for political parties to take their concerns into consideration. That's why they went to the extent of providing money, because money serves as a very big influence in this regard. Money means so much to the political parties because you need money to pay for policy experts, for example, because you don't want to make failed policies like Jill Stein, for instance. You need money for ads or campaigns which need to touch as much grassroots level society as possible. You also need money to fund big time conventions, primaries, or caucuses, Mr. Manager. All of this require donation that is inherently low on provides money, allows one big burden of the political parties to be lifted away, and we think that that's where indebtedness towards these entities come from, in which they will be asked, in which the political parties might be asked to cater to the particular interest of that foreign donators, for instance. And we think in this regard, there will be a power struggle because the money that's going to be provided by these foreign sources will be considerably larger in contrast to those that's regained inside the nation, right? Because most likely these people who provide these funds are powerful companies or individuals or government whose interests transcend through borders that they wish to play with the political condition inside the country which is not their origin, ladies and gentlemen. Based on that, ladies and gentlemen, we think that they will most likely be able to beat or at least be on par with the internal interest, and we don't want that because we think political parties should only vouch for the international interest in and of itself. By this, ladies and gentlemen, political parties who aspire to become government will only be held accountable and will only listen to the will of the people as opposed to people coming from the outside, considering all these reasons coming from us. But before proceeding to the second contribution.
But you don't concede that if the individuals within your country who are the ones who are going to decide the outcome of the election, that all your policies are catering to China, they are less likely to vote for you, and therefore you will never really succeed.
Oh look, if they are, their policies pivoting to China, for instance, we think that if they really want to win, they will eventually listen to that society's feelings, and if that particular interest of pivoting to China is within societal interest, we don't necessarily think that there needs to be any foreign relations going on. We think they will be able to listen anyway to the will of the people, so we don't think that POI has any relevance to this debate. But the last contribution coming from us, we think it will serve as an underdeveloped power play inside the country. Because look, when you come to take a look at it, the ones who will be benefited out of this proposal is most likely big parties, because then the foreign donators will have more power, right, to exert influence to parties who already have a strong establishment, have strong grounds, or strong political capital inside that particular region. This is the breeding ground for these foreign donators who want to only talk to this particular political party, and therefore it's only the big political parties who have access to this. We're talking about, the only two major parties in the United States, for example, who gain a lot of access to foreign donators in this regard. In times where big parties' legitimacy are questioned, and even if not, there needs to be opposition towards all of these political parties. Small parties, ladies and gentlemen, will not be benefited out of this proposal, and worse off, they will be drowned out because they don't have that much capital to pursue more people on the ground to become a part of that particular party. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we think that by stopping foreign donators from coming in, it will serve as a fair playground, fair grounds of play for these entities to strive to compete in terms of political capital, and the only way to do it is by becoming one of the ways they can sell things.
Right, thank you very much for the speech. I call upon the next speaker from the opening opportunity, Jen.
We need to recognize, Mr. Speaker, that we are living in a world where international relations is getting more and more important. This means that an action that's done in one country has ripple effects throughout others, especially in countries which are the most centralized on the global stage, countries like America, countries like England. When we fill an election process, we say it's entirely justified for other countries to be able to have a say, to have some form of influence in terms of the elections of the future politicians, and therefore influence in the future actions of the country. But before all of that, a few characterizations and remarks. Firstly, we need to recognize our model. Our model in our world is that we will allow donations, yes, but how will we do? We will have a world whereby when you want to donate to a country, first of all, it has to be publicly announced. This means two things. Firstly, things like announcing it on your campaign website or making it compulsory to announce it to your constituents so that they are informed of the actions of the nations that you are making, and therefore they are informed of the influence that you receive from other countries. Secondly, you have to make sure that it's through an NGO. Meaning that if they are supposedly donating to your cause and they want to have some sort of say, look, if I give you this amount of money, these are my requests or my demands, they must be publicly displayed. Meaning that the people will have to be aware of that so that they can make an informed decision when they actually go to the ballot box. So here are things. Firstly, why accountability within a government is not only protected by amplifying outside of the house. Secondly, by showing that support through discussions is simply not enough. And thirdly, why there's an increased emphasis on the importance of international relations when it comes to elections in our world. Firstly, accountability within the government. We need to recognize that when it comes to countries which actually do hold large election processes, countries like America, countries like Britain, they all have so much influence when it comes to international relations. What is the takeoff from this argument? The takeoff from this argument is that not only does the influence that they exert apply to their own people, but also to people off the ground. Things like a politician who wants to push for policies which will maybe protect the individuals within their own state, but ultimately hurt the individuals within other states. We think that these sort of politicians necessarily hurt the long-term interests of their own country as well as the interests of other countries. Why so? Because not because of the fact that when it comes to like international relations, right, we necessarily have to make some compromises in the state, and these sort of things are things that are often overlooked by single constituents within your state. What does it mean? This means that when politicians want to talk about international relations, what they do is they promise you jobs. They promise you the outcome of these things without really the long-term repercussions. And as a result of that, individuals are forced to conform to this sort of individuals, because of their desperation to get jobs, are basically take this sort of opportunity and they get go. So, no. We think that showing support is simply not enough. Why? Because oftentimes this sort of support is not publicized. Meaning that when we talk about trade deals with specific political parties, we talk about the influence that's exerted by other parties towards the same bigger party. No one really. We think that oftentimes these things are not really made extremely public, extremely known to the constituents. What is the takeaway from this case? The takeaway from this is that oftentimes these things don't really protect the interests of individuals in the status quo. Why? Because we think that in our world, whereby when we actually provide tangible support in forms of political relation, political capital, is far better.
Why do you think that doing this proposal will necessarily eliminate all those things? You're adding another problem by exerting an influence that is not publicized anymore.
Yes, I already told you in my model that the influence that you exert, i.e. the amount of money you give, as well as the actual reasons why you give this money, are being made public to the society, and therefore it's better in our role. So thirdly, when we allow individuals on the ground and in other countries to demand that to actually provide support, we need to recognize that the election process is a long time. Meaning that if I notice a politician in say Britain or Singapore who does something that will hurt me as an individual, and hurting the economy of my country, it's extremely difficult for me to actually show my disgust towards the politician, aside from maybe putting like a tweet on Twitter or like asking my own constituents to do so. We think that in our world, individuals can directly say, hey, this politician hurts me as an individual, and therefore I provide support to the other party will protect me. This means a world whereby foreign relations and international relations are prioritized over other things, and therefore our world is better. Thirdly, it emphasizes the importance of foreign relations. I've already provided you analysis about why foreign relations is often a side topic in elections. In the most recent example, say the 2016 relations, Donald Trump did promise that he will give you jobs, right? He did promise, and he did actually deliberately antagonize China in an effort to make himself seem the biggest possible thing on the floor. But why is this so horribly bad? This is bad because as a direct consequence of that, Donald Trump has had a lot of people around him pull out of things, meaning that he himself has promised that America will pull out of like the TPP. This means that he and almost wait a second. He as well as America will have worse ties with Saudi Arabia, worse ties with China.
So even if it does collide with the national interest, you're okay with precisely portraying democracy?
We need to recognize that again, that's when I argued earlier and I said, look, if it does collide with national interest, the ultimate ones to whom the politicians will be accountable will be the constituents or the people who are going to go to the ballot box and say, I want this person to be like the person who is going to be the next president. So we recognize that if a politician does something that's so horrible, number one, it's very unlikely that he will actually gain the power in the first place. But number two, if he does do it, if he does lose the state power, he causes individuals to lose so many jobs, then we think that within the next 4 years, this election, he will lose, and therefore we think that's a self-mitigating problem. So, but moving on to my analysis, why is this so horribly bad? The point in which you believe that individuals are blinded by their own processes to the point where they are not able to recognize the full scale of things. This is simply because the majority of voters are not exactly the most informed or educated individuals when it comes to foreign relations. Because when you come to the individual middle class worker in America, they do not get this massive contact debates or relations between China and America. All they know is, hey, if I let the Chinese guys steal my job, it is bad for me. We think that this sort of knowledge, prevents them from being able to make actual choices when it comes to the long-term effects of their jobs. And therefore, we say in our world, where individual constitutions are not only accountable to like their own constituents, but also accountable to the long-term hierarchy of requirements that precise in their own country as well as other countries is a far better world to live in. Thank you.
Sorry, I changed. I don't send it.
All right, thank you very much for that speech. I call upon the Deputy Prime Minister to deliver his speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's wrong for opening opposition to simply say that if you're not favored by the constituent, then you would not be voted in the first place. Because we live in a context where a lot of political parties is able to nominate candidates that apparently no one likes anyway. We've seen the context, for example, where when Donald Trump campaigned against Hillary, a lot of people don't like both parties, but they have to choose one of them simply because they're the only available candidate. In that situation, we believe that it's better for these candidates to only be able to gain legitimacy if they listen to the people as opposed to finding money from outside sources, effectively reducing the options for people to be heard anyway. Because we must understand that we live in a context where most likely one leader is going to be elected anyway, because it's unlikely for more than 50% of the people to vote, to abstain, and no one got elected. Therefore, the only method for us to stop it is about GBR2. What is the best way to ensure that the political parties meant up to gain legitimacy does not come at the expense of people and constituents' right to be heard of? That's what we're debating today. I'm going to talk about three things in my speech. Number one, I'm going to talk about how influential political division from foreign sources is. Number two, I'm going to directly I'm talking about international relations. Number three, in extension, I'm going to talk about how to empower people. Let's talk about the influence of political donation from foreign sources. Ladies and gentlemen, look, it's hard. We think that the characteristic coming from opening opposition and the model that follows is very unclear, because they want you to also be allowed to make all of these donations, but everything must be transparent as well. Look, you must understand that most of these government and foreign government and foreign entities give political donation exactly because their interest is directly oppositional towards people on the ground, right? Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, their model would only mean that most likely, number one, all of these foreign sources would be disingenuous when they want to make it clear what they're trying to ask. More time they have hidden motives that you are unable to detect anyway. Number two, most likely if you force them to listen that you're able to detect all of the motives, then it's less likely for them to make those donations, effectively meaning that you're supporting the needs of opening government. We think in a society where it's hard for you to find all of these hidden needs and to make it transparent to society, it's better for us to follow opening government, which is to directly cut resources anyway, so that you don't have to spend so much time and so much resources on the rest of the house to literally try to find all of these hidden needs to begin with. Because we argue to you that all of these interests, ladies and gentlemen, is very important for the country, very important for the political party. The money that is given from this political donation can be used, for example, hire multi-ad company to mask all of these hidden interests. You allow people to shape debates, to hire campaign strategies that is way better and over-dominating the politicians in a way that will create a very skewed perception of what the election is. We argue to you that you cannot simply defend a world, opening opposition cannot simply defend a world where you're allowed to make donation, but everything must be transparent, because under the house, most likely parties will be disingenuous, or at the very least, they would not want to give a donation, which is the case of opening government. Secondly, let's talk about international relations. We argue to you that number one, in the current context, international relations has been over-dominating as opposed to domestic policies. Most of the time we're talking about campaigns about international relations, for example, sending troops to ISIS, we're talking about the relevancy of, for example, the UN, all of these things is already discussed, but sometimes it comes at the point, at the expense of people on the ground who wants their issue to be listened as well. So we argue that in the current moment, we think that it's better for a government to always prioritize their constituent, especially because, like what Gaby argued, the impact of those policies will be felt by your constituent first, before anyone else. We think that you, as a government that has to be towards your constituent, because they're the one who voted for you, you have the duty to listen to them first. And we think that international influences only becomes a hindrance when it becomes too influential for you. That is the reason why most countries prohibit foreigners from becoming president, prohibit foreigners from becoming legislative. Even though we agree that their perspective might matter, it should not matter over the ability of the constituent to be listened and to be represented in that regard. But if they want to argue about international relations, we think that that's actually harmful in their case. Why? International relations can only be effective when both parties talks and table out discussion in a fair manner. It can only happen when the discussion happens amongst leaders of country, amongst government who have equal power. At that point, the discussion does not happen between government, that happens between one government who have a very large amount of capital pool to a political candidate that is really in need of money, that is not in power yet. Therefore, most of the time, on their side of the house, the international relation will be so imbalanced because the one who have money will be able to dominate and will not have to compromise, for example, in this government, to the political candidate. The political candidate is in need of those money. As a result, the result of this negotiation will be highly biased against the one who holds capital, as opposed to the interest of the country, which is against the value of international relations. International relations is only valuable when both countries are equal, and not about who wins and who loses, but how to create compromise that creates win-win solution for both parties. So it's actually worse in the side of the house if the discussion happens before they rise into power. Then it's actually better side of the house, where you can table discussion afterwards, after they rise. Lastly, how to empower people. It is wrong to say from the opposition that people are unaware of political relation. People are talking about ISIS, people are talking about immigration. All this has happened. But the thing members need to understand is that the current type of political action is that individuals are allowed to pool their capital into political action committees or PACs. This is the new way of how people's power is getting to the surface. But the only way we are able to maximize that power is by making sure that the power of these PACs is strong enough to the extent that it can become a significant power in the country, for example, as opposed to only having companies or only having big NGOs. At the point where you still allow chances for other foreign sources whose position is directly oppositional, you diminish the ability of this PAC to rise into the surface and becomes the one that is listened by politicians the most. We think that the current political climate should be adjusted so that people are willing to listen to the politicians, are willing to listen to these PACs or to these constituents, as opposed to creating more hindrances for these national voices. We think, ladies and gentlemen, that if international relations policy does matter so much, it will be able to be dealt with when you have present power, when there is already an equal representation in the government. It will not be able to happen when you create such a position of value election.
All right, thank you very much for that speech. I call upon leader of opposition to deliver the speech.
ladies and gentlemen, when a country such as the developed country or developing countries have been showing that it's failed to actually sustain the lifestyle of citizens, then that's why we need the foreign country to actually intervene and help them to actually sustain the lifestyle of the very first religion. Now, I will go on the rebuttal that how exactly these, I will go on the rebuttal that why did the opposing side that cannot be actually conducted and they are actually always dependent on the local citizens in the very first place. The rebuttal they come up with, they actually can be dependent on the donation from the citizens and also the government to actually help people. And ladies and gentlemen, in the fact that in the under a country and down country, it's not the case because you have to understand the fact that this under country have been actually living in a poor and unsustainable lifestyle. That's why the intervention have to be conducted in the first place. We feel like solidarity of these local politicians can be a way to trade off if it can be actually sustain the lifestyle of the local citizens. Now, I will go on to my point today. I will go on a point and say that how exactly this donation actually can help people in the first place. Now, because the reason that they can't be conducting this because of lack of monetary value, that's why they need this this donation in the first place. Now, because of that, right? Because of that, their influence, because of these kind of monetary value, right? The foreign country, the foreign sources can actually have such influence. The influence we think that is a very trade-off because the fact that these in the first place, the local policy making are actually showing that fail to actually maintain the lifestyle of the citizens in the first place. Now, I would say that this influence actually can also bring a good part of the society. Sit down. Can also bring a good part because of that, right? You have to understand when a country donates, when a foreign source in the country, they also have to be considered that the sort of business investment towards them and also towards the local country itself. They invested in it's because they want to develop that country in the first place. For example, infrastructure, industrial, and also job opportunity. Because of that, right, they actually can into helping and forming sort of the international associations such as ASEAN region. The ASEAN itself have been showing that these kinds of foreign donation and foreign helping actually can build up this small undeveloped country together and become a bloc that actually can help and actually can have more influence towards these developed countries such as the British and US that actually can help them to actually form more international policy in the first place. Now, such as for example, like in agriculture, such as palm oil plantation. In agriculture, palm plantation, in the first place, people have a certain tracks, certain benchmark on this ASEAN country. Because of that, right, they actually can forming a certain fixed number of benchmarks to actually can compete to the foreign country, to the foreign country. That's why we need all this. Not religion. What I'm saying that it's not only the developed country helping the undeveloped country. They also can undeveloped country and developed country forming together, helping each other. Then they can form a wider range of associations to actually compete with these developed countries.
Yeah. If what you want is helping people, why don't give it to people directly in the form of aid? But if what you want is cooperation, why don't do it with the already elected government? So it will not get an imbalance power structure if you give it to politicians who are in need of those money.
We feel like what they are claiming of the power imbalance it's not as tangible as we let this undeveloped country die off without any help in the first place. We feel like this power, even there is sort of the power imbalance in this country, in the developed country and undeveloped country, we feel like these developed countries need to have an incentive to actually helping them to not only develop the undeveloped country, but this developed country and also can have a wider range of business investment to the developed country and undeveloped country. Now, gentlemen, I would like to also talk about how exactly these. I would like to also talk about how exactly these sort of the donation will also helping you're also helping the minority in the first place. But you have to understand, in certain policy in a certain policy making arrangement in this local country, they are always being this policy making, they actually always being made by these privileged capitalist people that have been forming for their own interests. Which means that this kind of policy right there actually are being marginalized certain minorities such as women's rights in the country. But if we let this donation actually intervene to them, they actually can help this minority group which and be marginalized in the first place, ladies and gentlemen. Because of this kind of donation, they actually can pressurize them that no, your policy have certain flaws in this. That's why my donation from helping you, and you need to actually follow these certain rules and policy to actually helping this certain problem minority. Ladies and gentlemen, sit down. Now, we feel like the tangible harm here is not who having a more power, who have less power. We feel like the tangible harm here is that who are needing to be helped and who are willing to help. And the one being helped is also can be providing some sort of a wide range of business investment, and the one who get help can also get some sort of incentive in terms of monetary value to develop their own country in terms of infrastructure and also industry and also job opportunities. That's why we are proud. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. On the final seat of the bench to do the rest.
It's going to be like this. When the world of opposition, the entire block of the substantive material relies on the fact that we can change policy directions just by giving money. Meaning to suggest that they were okay with saying that money can make people revert on their policies and can make people abide by certain guidelines, but at the same time don't want to contend that sometimes these guidelines or these policy directions are for the worse. We think both of these two things cannot simultaneously exist. The stance coming from opposing government was clear that individuals are forced to prioritize. In which governments are forced to prioritize other interests over their own individuals, like over the people in those constituents. We think the grave breach of duty, everything that's there, or we want to just point out one thing here. We think it's true that, for sometimes individuals, in a lot of cases, are in need of money and are in need of help. But crucially, this misses the bulk of the debate. Because if it was true that you want foreign investment, we think it's okay to invest in non-profit organizations or companies and corporations who are involved in doing these charities. It's not like they're stopping all investment in every single company. We need to deal with the nuance that this is not just about charity or giving money arbitrarily, but it's about giving money to these people who can influence politics. Everything that's the most important nuance that they're yet to justify. A couple of things in this speech. First, why on principle, we think that this is moral complicity at its finest. Second, of pragmatics and why individuals are worse off. Thirdly, of the political process and why they make it far worse. First, in terms of principle, we think it is far. We think on principle that governments owe a greater duty to their individuals. We think OG did a fairly okay job at telling you that it's because there's proximity and you feel the brunt of it. But above and beyond all these things, I think it's important that my POI spoke about the right to vote. Because oftentimes we don't give multinational corporations the ability to vote. Because we recognize their status as being particularly transient. The fact that their interests are often for the short term and not for the long term. We need to see they're not as invested into those particular nations, not just because of proximity, but because their interest is oftentimes to reap those commercial profits for them to stay in business. That's why the incentive structure outlined by government is important because we spoke about what the needs of these particular corporations is. At the point at which government allow for these things to happen, we think the government is morally complicit to the atrocities of the extradition of individuals from their homelands. We think this is unreconcilable because this means that if individuals take this kind of foreign investment and increase their own people in their own territory, it becomes harder and harder for them to amass political capital and political will from their own people just by justifying that, oh, you get speculative benefits like the environment and what have you. But before I move on, yes.
But do you think that a politician who actually says things like, I'm going to evict you from your home, or actually evicts you from your home, I'm going to be stay power for long anyways?
No, they don't. That's the problem. They don't tell you that going to evict you. They just do it. And at the point that we to allow for corporations to fit and sell a lie, which is what Julia Gillard did in Australia, which she promised to not have these carbon taxes, but instead still reverted on that promise. You allow for individuals to be misled. You think that's worse for the democratic process, and that's what going to be my third clash of why political process is further harm. But we think yes, so they don't often see this explicitly, but the harm happens so suddenly that individuals are made worse off in terms of practical ramifications. That's why it's harmful. But so in terms of principle, they never really deal with why those particular incentive structures can actually be aligned, or why those national interests cannot be taken care of independent from those foreign considerations. But we also told you that in terms of capitalism, the problem about capitalism is that it often entrenches short-term issues at the behest of other long-term interests, because they are only accountable to their shareholders and not people in their constituents. So to the extent that which there are screw-ups that are about to happen, there is no current existing mechanism for us to evict these people in power. And already political corporations are independent and they screw up, they are able to remove them after 4 years or 5 years. So that's the trade-off that's going to happen. Even independent from these foreign donations, because there's still existing mechanism to remove these individuals. But it's harder point that they check on capitalist structures because they're oftentimes not tied to the people or have no sense of accountability to individuals. That's why it's uniquely harmful to have foreign investment in politics. But second, why does this harm individual in terms of practices? Because we think there's a gamut of harm that happen. Other than just the principle of states being complicit, we think there are actual tangible harms in this status quo that we think was only illustrated by closing government. When individuals tell you that large multinational corporations in Philippines evict people off their houses and the governments won't do anything about it, but instead facilitate legislation to make it parallel to those circumstances, we think it's far worse. But more importantly, we think that this is not a novel thing, right? In a lot of nations, oftentimes when you have a lot of your money, oftentimes good to tender to these corporations as it has all their own constituents. We think that's far harder, we think that's far worse. Third, why is it harder to talk about particular political process? We mentioned the reason that I have two particular harms. The first particular harm is that there's no transparency in the particular process, because we think individuals are now misled. Because now the interest of the particular campaign is oftentimes not translated to actual public policy, because there's an element of deception that what individuals really stand for, but oftentimes what the politicians stand for, but oftentimes hugely diametrically opposed from what to who they have to render and where those particular donations come from. This means that there's no transparency in the method of campaigning, but more importantly, the individuals are more likely to flip-flop on those particular policies, because they cannot declare those affiliations before campaigning, because obviously they'll lose their votes, but they're oftentimes having to need to act on it after that. We think that's far worse for the political process. The second, it's harmful for the political process because it diametrically affects the ability for states to break bipartisan boundaries. And this is where Douglas gave a unique analysis that was completely missed by closing opposition. Because we told you that in countries that are oftentimes very split on extreme right or right-wing leaders in Europe, for example, we think oftentimes Europe try to combat this by giving money to smaller political parties to enable them to rise up, trying to create a more equal playing field for those particular policies to have representation. But a policy like that is very harmful because it hinders the state's ability to break bipartisan politics. Because oftentimes the entrenchment of the capital oftentimes is wholly contrived by bigger political parties. This means you will never get any mechanism for small parties to be able to prop up. Because each time a state wants to prop up its politician, they cannot compete with the large capital infrastructure and capital incentives of the other people. That's why, Mr. Speaker, for all these reasons we oppose. I propose.
Alright, thank you very much. I got on the final speaker to conclude this debate.
Okay, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I think it's very important to point out and acknowledge there are certain assumptions which the entire case on the government side has been running on. Firstly, you run on the assumption that voters are uninformed, so therefore the multinational companies can just screw the people over without even realizing it. Secondly, first world countries, they did go under the paradigm that this happens in first world countries, whereas they refuse to acknowledge or rather like turn a blind eye towards what happens in third world countries and third world countries, which is what we from the closing half of the opposition are going to speak more about. And thirdly, they acknowledge, their idea of foreign donations seem to revolve only around MNCs, and they refuse to acknowledge donations from other countries, other political parties, and also organizations and NGOs, right? And they also assume that all these MNCs have evil, devilish kind of intentions to screw people over. We do agree that that does happen in a lot of cases, but we feel that we shouldn't just ignore that as well, right? Firstly, I'm going to wrap up again on what my first speaker said. He mentioned about how countries here can strategically band together and form alliances to further their interests. We feel this is a very important thing. Yes, sure. Accepting foreign donations seems very, but we feel it is a necessary evil in today's capitalist society, right? In order to survive. I'll elaborate more on that on the rebuttals. Okay, let's walk down government series here. First of all, the government came up and said about how political parties should work for the people and how it shouldn't collide with the interests of the people. We believe this is false, yeah? Like how the government bench has pointed out that the voters act as a check and balance towards policies which may be harmful for them. Further elaboration of this, yeah, we have two paradigms in developing countries and underdeveloping countries. We believe it's fair to say that in developing countries, voters are informed, like what happened in the United States. Yeah, I'm really glad you brought it up. It was having two candidates to be really like. But let's see what happened after the elections. Yeah, what's the process which triggered? People are acknowledging the fact that hey, we have this problem which is going on. Hey, this thing is going on. How do we solve it? Yeah? So we can see that voters who are aware can acknowledge the situation and work against that. Right? So we feel in developing countries there is a way to overcome that. And for undeveloping countries, for undeveloping countries, we believe that there is a higher need for them to rely on the economic benefits of these donations and trade, whatever comes together here, right? We think it's more important for them to look into that other than what's the economic policies of the people as well. Because we feel it's more important to develop the third world countries first before looking into what the people really want, because they are probably uneducated and they don't really know what they want in the first place. Yes.
Okay, so the thing you need to realize that we are not making an argument that the electorate is being uninformed. The nuance that we make is that politicians are now being placed in circumstances where they have to rely on single voters. Meaning to say your votes becomes less informed because it's not informed.
Yeah. When you mention the high price, you have to realize this, bro. And actually, it's not really like your example about the Australian. It's not really like that because it seems like they're trying to dodge around and swindle you, but this is the realities of the economics. Right? Like my first speaker already mentioned about how multinational corporations can now form blocks and monopoly things. It's very important to actually cater to it because we live in a capitalist society. And if you're going to opt for capitalism, this is what we have to do. We have to opt for them, we have to cater to them, we have to do for that interest as well. Yes, voters are important, yes, people are important, but for the development of the country, for economical benefits, it is really, really important to look into the interests of these people and to actually kind of be the, forgive my language, but kind of be like a slave for them because we really depend on them and we really, really need them. Because it's really easy, right, for these blocks like big agriculture, big tobacco, whatever, to just completely block out your country and you're screwed, basically. So we believe, like what I said, wrapping up again what I said, in developed countries, people are not yet. In developed countries, people are informed enough to actually challenge these kinds of policies and decisions, and in undeveloped countries, it is more important for the economic benefits as well. No, sorry, moving on. Next, opening opposition. Opening government. Talked about how we need to find options and we need to listen to people. That sounds very either But here's the problem, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. People sometimes don't know the larger picture. They don't know what's really good for the country. And so, yeah, okay.
You just accuse us of saying that we assume people are uninformed. All you're saying is that people are illogical. So how do you think people would?
Sorry, what?
You accuse us of saying that people are uninformed. And you're saying that that's an assumption. But your case just said that people are most likely illogical.
I don't get it. Probably you should listen to the rest of the argument first, right? The thing is, we live in a pluralist society here, where we have many different ideologies, we have a wide range of ideologies, wide range of thoughts. Some people believe that trickle-down economics really work. Some people believe that no, we need grassroots economics. So these kinds of policies, it's a clash, and the reality is the voice of people, yes, it does matter, but we do need to cater. There is a need to cater to this economic blocks as well, and yeah, basically our case is this. So, sorry. Yes, the closing half talked about how it dilutes the democratic process, but we feel it actually strengthens the democratic process because of the fact that it takes into account the economic side of it as well. Because we need to cater to the regional benefits, the economic benefits of the entire region. So with that, we feel it is unfair to basically just throw donations out of foreign donations totally out of the table. But in fact, we agree on the counter proposal provided by certain check and balances like accountability and transparency should be integrated into this to make it a better system. So with that, I'm proud to this.
All right, thank you very much. Please cross the floor, shake hands, and exit the room. I'll call you back.